All right. So the Rangers win 5-1 over the Tampa Bay Lightning in game 35 of the regular season, putting the Rangers as the first team in the NHL to reach the 50-point mark on the season. And definitely a lot better the compete level in this game from compared to what we saw last night in Sunrise. Definitely a lot more to like. The defensive effort was way better than we saw against Florida. The compete itself, like I said, better. There was definitely a black hole in terms of their offensive play, but I will definitely accept the way that they played defensively throughout this game. There was times where sure they allowed a lot of pressure, but they did a good job when they did allow pressure at keeping those shots to the outside and keeping Tampa Bay away from Igor Shesterkin. If Igor did have to face a contested shot, he was able to see the puck because the Rangers did a good job at letting Igor Shesterkin see the puck the whole way through. So yeah, definitely a lot more to like. And I'm more of the side where I will take them playing better defense than playing better offense. That's just how I feel. But yeah, they definitely need to find a way to get things going a bit more offensively, though. I will say that. I know people don't want to hear it because they won the game 5-1, but the offense cannot run solely through Artemi Panarin and Vincent Trocheck. They need to find a way to get the lines producing, the other lines producing, I should say. The first line was definitely not giving you enough offensively, and they haven't for the past few weeks. Blake Wheeler, he's kind of just been invisible out there. Kreider, he scored the goal tonight, but there was a lot of times where he wasn't noticeable at points in this game. Zibanejad as well. You need that first line to get going a bit more throughout these games because otherwise you're going to end up in an issue where you're just not going to, at some point, the second line's not going to produce. You need to get more scoring throughout your lineup. And, you know, this has been a problem here for a couple weeks that the first and third line have really kind of left a lot to be desired in terms of their offensive production. But, you know, the second line doing a good job carrying the load. And this is why there is a case, and there should be a case for Artemi Panarin to win the Hart Trophy because the offense runs through him. I know Trocheck had more points tonight, and he had a very good game himself. I'm not taking that away from him. But the offense definitely runs through Artemi Panarin. You're seeing him get double shifted time and time again, and he has just been outstanding, and he has been so consistent thus far. And what a way to cap off this part of the season, if you will, to cap off 2023 for him, considering we were all disappointed in his postseason play. He has just bounced back and he has just been great. And hopefully this continues throughout the remainder of the season. But he has been unreal. Trocheck had a very good night yet again. Lafreniere on that line too, had a couple of good passes. He got robbed of potentially getting more points throughout this effort, but still, you take the fact that he got 2 points in this game. But yeah, you need to get a little bit more of an effort from your other lines. It's just that simple. But before we jump further into everything, please be sure to leave a like if you have not already. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next on the channel. We're on the road to 2K subs, so let's see if we can get there. But in the first period, the Rangers would open up the scoring very early. A stretch pass from Lafreniere, broken up there as it was about to hit Hedman's stick by Vinny Trocheck, and then Artemi Panarin would end up getting the puck, and he ends up getting a goal there off of that feed from Trocheck. That makes it 1-0. And the little play that he made to keep Perbix from breaking that up with the stick, beautiful there, makes it 1-0. Fox with a nice block on a rush chance from Kucherov and point after a bad stretch pass before that. The Rangers start allowing a bit of pressure at that point in the game, but they were keeping a lot of it to the outside. Miller had one good play in the neutral zone where he stepped up, but the Rangers had an issue too in the first period. I mean, this was kind of an issue throughout the night where they were not really doing a good job breaking the puck up through the neutral zone. They had a little bit of difficulty there at points in this game, but that was just the nature of their offense in general throughout the game, really struggling to establish a forecheck at points in the game. But I will say I love the second goal because what did I talk about in the post game last night after they lost to the Florida Panthers? I felt they haven't been getting the rebound chances as much, and they've been getting away from getting rebound chances. And sure enough, Panarin, a nice takeaway in the neutral zone, comes in, feeds Lafreniere, who tries to stuff it in with a nice move. He doesn't, but the puck keeps moving in the offensive zone. Trouba would fire a shot. Lafreniere would end up passing the rebound chance to Trocheck, and he ends up getting it on the open cage there to make it 2-0. So huge to go up 2-0 that early in the game. And then you had a little bit of slop. Fox had a couple of lazy plays. He let Hagel walk in on one. Igor makes a stop there. We'll talk more about Fox. I didn't particularly love his game tonight, but we're going to talk about how everyone played tonight later on. Miller had a turnover, and then Igor had to make a stop the other way after that because they allowed pressure. Coley, after a deep play, gets called for a holding penalty, as well as Fleury. That was weird that they just randomly called 2 holding penalties there in the same sequence. I didn't agree with either of them. I thought the refs in general tonight were atrocious, but that's kind of been a theme throughout the season thus far. Schneider, though, with a good play on Hagel to stop a chance. Tampa Bay's fourth line keeps cycling as the first line got hemmed in their own end. And then you have Jeannot in the crease. He kind of makes contact with Igor, and then Mika's still in there. But, yeah, Igor goes out of the crease a bit, and Anisimov ends up getting a wraparound, and it goes in, but they end up calling it no goal. I didn't like the positioning by certain guys there. I thought Lindgren needed to do a better job keeping guys away. And you have Adam Fox, who I don't know why he was not even in front of the net there on his side playing the puck. But yeah, and then Mika there gets called for a hooking penalty after they review it. I don't understand how they just call penalty after reviewing that there. But it ends up being no goal. I was stunned that they called it no goal, but I will not complain that they called it no goal. Trouba then makes some good plays, breaking up a pass and then blocking a shot from Kucherov as well. The Rangers killed the penalty off. Gaudreau can't bury a rebound chance as the fourth line had a decent shift. Lafreniere has a good back check on Stamkos, who got a chance. Trouba got caught up the ice a bit, and then Cirelli got a chance at the last second, denied. But overall, very good defensive period from the Rangers in the first. Again, I just wanted to see a little bit more from them offensively. I felt that they struggled to break the puck through the zone, and they were really hurting themselves at points in the game, I felt, or really after that first period, and it continued, unfortunately. I didn't like some of the times where they were just turning the puck over a bit too much, but they did end up having the better chances in that period. High danger chances were in their favor, 4-2. They did a good job defensively, but all 4 of those high danger chances came from the second line. Again, they need to get more production from these other lines. It's unacceptable having play only come from one of your forward lines. You need to get more production out of the rest of the group. But second period rolls along, and just like every second period, it feels like of Rangers hockey this year, very eventful. I don't know what it is with the second periods this year, but it was very eventful yet again. But regardless, second period, Trouba with a big hit on Connor Sheary as Tampa kept getting most of the pressure in. Then the Rangers got a rush chance the other way. Bonino fell. But again, they were having a hard time with breaking the puck out of points. Miller with a nice step up in the neutral zone. The second line then gets a nice shift out of it, but Lafreniere turns it over. Tampa would come the other way. Kuch makes a nice move, but Trouba ends up forcing it wide on a desperation move. Trouba had a very good game. Same with Keandre Miller. Both of them, who I crucified after that game last night, both of them stepped up and bounced back big in tonight's game with the way they played, especially Keandre Miller. I love the bounce back effort from him in this game. Igor has a big stop as Tampa kept the pressure going. A good block then by Gustafsson. Then Pitlick to Gaudreau, who gets a breakaway, and he couldn't bury the shot as he tries to go low. Don't understand that. But Miller then goes off for an interference penalty. Weird call, but regardless, Trouba keeps Paul out of the way so Igor could stop Kucherov's shot. Point goes off then for high sticking, which negates it, thankfully. Chernak has a clean look, though, which got stopped. Fox blowing another assignment there. I did not like a lot of what he did tonight, and I think Adam Fox, the chart tonight, did him a favor. I didn't think he had a good game really at all. I really didn't. Sorry. I didn't think he had a good game. And I know people don't like when I nitpick things, even when they win. I'm here for that. I'm going to point out things despite if they win. Adam Fox, he had a couple of questionable plays at points. Then Vasilevsky stops Lafreniere on a chance. Kreider with two just brutal plays. He gets a breakout pass from Igor, and he just stands there, and then it ends up being taken away. Thankfully, again, just another bad play as they end up getting the puck after all. They get a shift, and he just makes a boneheaded play in the corner. And, I ripped on him for it, and he ends up responding for it later on in the period, which is good. But I felt like, again, he was just being lazy at points in this game. He was just being lazy. But Panarin with a bad Diesel turnover. Fox left in front to cover Perbix, who gives one to Glendening, who ends up missing wide. Can't blame really Fox there for that one. That was just a bad turnover. Lindgren went out of position for that one, though. Igor with a nice stop on Stamkos as they started to get a little loose defensively, I felt. And then a brutal shift back-to-back from the fourth line, the first line. Tampa hemmed them into their own end. Schneider and Gustafsson couldn't break the puck out. Trouba does make the breakout, and the Rangers come the other way, but it got broken up. Tampa comes back, hems them in, and then after the puck gets covered, Schneider goes off for a roughing penalty. That couldn't happen. That couldn't happen, and Tampa ends up making them pay for it. As I get that people are going to say they could have called a penalty too on Tampa during that scrum. It's a penalty on Schneider. It is, and they make him pay as Point has a shot stop. Then Point sets up then Point again, I should say. Then Stammer gets set up, and he sets up Kucherov for it, and he ends up scoring. Trouba did his job, but I don't understand why Lindgren, Gaudreau, and Bonino were all puck watching, and they left Stamkos, or Kucherov, I meant, wide open there, wide open on that opportunity there. One of the best players in the NHL, if not the best player, arguably, right now in Nikita Kucherov. You can't blow your assignment there. You can't be puck watching. You gotta get over there and cover him. But the Rangers would respond right away. Less than a minute after, a good win in the boards by Miller and Trouba on the boards. And then Wheeler ends up firing it down the ice. Trocheck would get it, and he sets up Kreider on a rush to score 3-2-1. Lafreniere with a nice pass to Trocheck, and he misses the net. Fox gets cooked again by Point this time at the end of the period. Thankfully, Lindgren blocks it. Again, a little concerning, and that's when I fired out a tweet about how I felt Fox was being lazy, and people were not happy about that tweet. Sorry. If he makes a play like that, I'm going to point it out. That type of play cannot happen. You can't take your foot off the gas just because the period's about to end and you're up 3-1. You gotta keep pressing. You gotta keep pressing, keep your head in the game. But regardless, that second period was still not really not terrible, not the best. That was probably their worst period of the game, and it's weird that they allowed only one high danger chance there, but I felt that was still their worst period. But it's not like it was bad in terms of how they played defensively. Defensively, they were great. You allow one high danger chance, you're doing something right. I just didn't like the amount of pressure that they invited because of the lack of being able to break the puck out at points and the lack of being able to break the puck through the neutral zone. And it caused the Rangers to not get as many chances offensively, but they still did a good job, at least when they were getting hemmed in, at keeping the play to the outside and keeping Tampa Bay from getting the quality opportunities. But third period rolls along, and this was definitely the best period, in my opinion, for the Rangers defensively, especially. They did a very good job. There was, like, the first 10 minutes or so of this period, 1-3-1, and Tampa Bay had it was tough for them to break the puck through. Tampa Bay had a hard time breaking the puck through, and they did a very good job at keeping Tampa Bay away from getting into the offensive zone and getting good opportunities. But I don't really know if there's much that Tampa had that was good. Like, Gustafsson had a block, and then Hedman got the rebound chance alone denied. That was probably Tampa's high danger chance. If I had to take a guess, I could be wrong. But although Nick Paul also had that chance where he ended up getting past Fox, and Igor made the huge stop there. Fox cleared the rebound up after, but Yeah, I mean, outside of that, Trocheck, good work in the neutral zone, steals the puck. Panarin walks Hedman, buries it low blocker, 4-1. Um, that would be 5-1 as the Rangers got a late power play as Panarin to Fox, back to Panarin. He nets it for the hat trick, 5-1. Artemi Panarin, again, making his case for the Hart Trophy. And I am so in love with this type of play from Panarin where he's shooting the puck more and he feels more confident because last year at this point, he had 20, or I shouldn't say at this point, last year in general, he had 29 goals on the year. We are not even halfway through the season. He's at 23 goals on the season. Imagine what we could have got from him if he kept shooting the puck like this a lot. He might end up getting the most goals in a single season that he's ever got as a Ranger. He might. And that first season, it's similar to what we saw in the first season from him, where he's doing more of, he's bringing everything. He's bringing more of everything when it comes to the offensive side things, and him being more of a shooting threat is making it a lot tougher for him to read. And I think we all have talked about this ad nauseum, and I think it's obvious, but it's just what it is. And yeah, he's just been on fire. Trocheck has been so good at being consistent too, with the way that he's playing and skating his bag off. That line, the three of them were easily the best forwards. Trouba and Miller, the best defensemen in this game. The rest of the forward group, or the rest of the group in general, you got good defensive play from about everyone, except for, in my opinion, you got a little bit of you didn't get the best play from the fourth line tonight. The fourth line was definitely not up to par in this game. And then the Lindgren and Fox pair, I didn't love in this game either. I thought that they were a little disappointing at points in this game, but it's still not like they were awful. It just, again, I really want to see the other lines get going offensively. That's really my main takeaway, is I want to see the other lines get going, because the first and the third lines have just not been giving the supporting cast for that second line that's been on fire, and they need a bit more there. But Adam Fox, again, I know people are mad that I'm getting on him, but it's just the truth. He did not have the best game. He didn't, and I really just think that, and again, I want to reiterate this because I know people always take this the wrong way. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying that he can't have a bad game, but he didn't have the best game tonight. He did not have the best game tonight. It's just what it is. But yeah, that's really all my thoughts on the game. They played a good defensive effort. Offensively, could have been better, but I will take the trade off of them playing good defensively, because look at how it paid off. Look at how it paid off. But yeah, before we jump further into the recap, please be sure to leave a like if you haven't already, and subscribe. I really would appreciate all of that. We have about 40 of you guys in here. We have 17 likes, so I'd appreciate if you would leave a like and subscribe, again, on the road to 2K. But yeah, I just feel, to wrap up my thoughts finally before I get to the chat, I feel a lot more comfortable them playing defensively versus a high offensive game. Like I said, look at what happened when they got into that high offensive style game last night versus where they played tonight, more of a defensive, structured, sound game. Look at the result difference. That's what I'm saying. This way is way more sustainable. Way more sustainable. And shots were that misbalanced, or unbalanced, I should say, for Tampa Bay, because of the fact that the Rangers, they allowed a lot of shots, but it's not like they allowed a lot of quality chances. That was more so the thing. But offensively, again, they didn't play the sharpest offensive game. They didn't play the sharpest offensive game. And I don't think I'm breaking news to anyone there. The Breadman single-handedly keeping this inconsistent, flawed team season afloat. You could say that, yeah. But you know, he's really I know people want to hear it after a win, but yeah, like the flaws of the rest of the forward group, you know. Um, let's say decent performance, like the defensive effort from the team, but the offensive performance was not good enough, even though we scored 5 goals. Good bounce back game from Keandre and True, but 5 goals on 20 shots isn't sustainable. You need more of an offensive threat from your other 3 lines. Great game from the second line, though. Agree with your assessment as always, Matt. You and I are always on the same page, hence why you're on my podcast with me. We're always on the same page. I agree. Good to finish the year with the W. Rangers got some improving to do, as you've been discussing, Evan, but it's good to see Igor's back. Happy New Year, everyone. I agree, and Happy New Year to everyone, since this will be the last post-game show of 2023. We might do a podcast tomorrow. I think we are. I don't know. I have to double check with them, but yeah, nice to see them get the win. But yeah, there's definitely some things to still get cleaned up. But yeah. Yeah, Lafreniere had a very good game tonight too. There was one pass that he made that was really beautiful. Unfortunately, I think it was Trocheck with the shot and he fired wide on it. But yeah, Lafreniere, he was good tonight too. Good defense, back to blocking shots, and Igor, incredible game. Not to be negative, but what's going on with the faceoffs? It's not being negative. I always say this: if you think there was a deficiency in the hockey game, point it out. Like I'm not here to, you know, if I was here to bring out the pom poms and just, you know, celebrate when they win and just scream my head off when they lose, what would be the point of me doing this? Like that's not what I'm here for. The reason I do this is because I like to give my thoughts as a whole on the game and just, you know, give my thoughts on certain moments and everything collectively. I don't like to just, you know, come here and wave the pom poms when they win and just throw stuff when they lose. Like that's just not how I am. Um, but yeah, if you see a deficiency, you could point it out. I'm not going to call you negative, but yeah, face-offs definitely. They've been losing face-offs a bit recently too, so I don't know what really is going on there. I haven't really paid attention to the face-offs as much this season because they've been a lot better than previous seasons. But Nick Bonino, a guy who's usually good in the face-off dot, 28.6% tonight. That is not necessarily ideal. Trocheck was a negative in the face-off dot as well, so that is something to keep an eye on. Yeah, Fox did get beat all night long. Yeah, the inconsistent play from Trouba and Miller. That's the thing. They played a great game, but we got to see them build on it. Yep, got to see it for multiple games in a row. You're spot on with Fox beating all night, and he is too easy to move off the puck and a bit lackadaisical. Yeah, I mean, I don't know still if this is a lingering issue from the injury or not, but yeah, he has been. It's a little concerning how much he was beat tonight at points. Really was. Still complaining, enjoy the win. Like I said, Jerry, I am enjoying the win. Do I sound mad? Do I sound mad to anyone? I'm not mad. I'm very happy that they won. Even if it doesn't look like it, I'm very happy that they won. I've said multiple times that they played a good defensive game, but again, I'm not going to just sit here and act like it was the perfect performance. Again, what's the point of me doing this if I'm just going to be like, hell yeah, they won, let's go, best team in the league, they're going to go all the way, all that. Like, yeah, as a fan, I get that, you know, I'm supposed to be like that, and you know, I'm not saying that they can't, but all I'm saying is that, you know, I'm here also to point out if there's point out things that happen throughout the full 60 of a game. I'm not here to just go ahead and talk, you know, just as a hype man or just as someone that just gets pissed off nonstop. I'm very happy about the win. Very happy. Especially after the stat that I saw that this is the first time since 1994, 93, 94 season that they're the first team to reach 50 points. That's something to be excited about. And I'm not saying you can't enjoy the win. It's just, again, this is just what I do. This is just what I do. Gaudreau couldn't hit the empty net. Yeah, he's not good. Gaudreau's not good. Happy New Year to you, Robert. I agree, Glenn, that the refs were garbage too, that they missed on Anisimov. They missed that slash penalty. They missed a lot of it, but you know, just because they miss calls on the Rangers doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, well, you know, then that's not justified them calling the Schneider one. Like, the Schneider one's a penalty, but so are those. Like, if you get what I'm saying. Gaudreau's pathetic, yeah. I know. Been screaming it. Team Money, what's going on? How you doing? If only this team could give this kind of defensive effort on a more consistent basis, we'd really be cooking. That's what I've been saying, VZ. That's what I've been saying, that like this is the sustainable way to win hockey games. And I really, 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 really hope that they could continue to play this type of hockey consistently, because how many times do I say it? Like, after the Kings win, do you guys, I said it then and I'll say it again. You guys see after games like this why I get so worked up at points when they lose, because efforts like this defensively are possible from this group. It's just, I don't know what it is with the consistency. They did it against LA, and early on in the year, they were winning games, playing good defensively. That's just what I'm asking for, is their DNA to be, you know, a good defensive team. Because if you could build on the defense and make this consistent, the second line's producing. Imagine you go out at the deadline and you get an Elias Lindholm, a Patrick Kane comes back, or you go out and get Tarasenko back, Vetrano back, Zuccarello back, whoever it is. I don't even know who, or I'm not even going to talk about who for the deadline right now. I'm not even going to talk about it. All I'm saying, though, is that you get the upgrades you need at the trade deadline to improve the first line, to improve the third line from playing, quite frankly, just piss poor some nights. And all of a sudden, the offense could maybe come from the defense here. And you have a team that their DNA is they play good defense, and then they're going to punch back when you make a mistake, and they're going to make you pay with how good they could be offensively and explosive they could be. That's what I want. That's what I want. And I think that's what Peter Laviolette wants, too. I really do. Don't have to be our best every game. We just need to be better than the other team. Yeah, and they were better than the other team tonight. They were. It just, again, like, I really just... I'm going to point out mistakes throughout the game, too. Yes, I called this. Whenever the Rangers play their structured game, they do well. Igor is back too safe to say now. I agree with every single bit of what you just said. Yeah. When they play the structured game, they are so hard to beat. Yeah, I didn't like Cirelli too when he pushed over Igor on that one play towards the end of the game. That was annoying. Your critiques are entirely valid every game. I appreciate that, Glenn. Because if you go on Twitter, they're not gonna have it if you think that Twitter thinks I'm a total idiot. But again, I'm not here to act like it's all sunshine and rainbows. Again, they were the better team tonight. They won the game. Happy, very happy. Here's the smile. But again, I'm gonna point out deficiencies and critique them for mistakes they make throughout the game. Laffy looks so much more confident, smart this year. When he isn't the one scoring or getting an assist, he's involved in the play. I agree with that. He had like a stretch for, I would say, a week or two where he kind of started to get invisible. But yeah, now he's kind of been back to playing good hockey. I need some water. I don't know what's going on. Throat's drying up. Majority of our wins were deserved this season, especially compared to last season. Agree with that. To an extent. Like, there were points where there was a couple of stretches where they did have some ugly wins. But yeah, like, there has been also a good amount of games where they have, where they've been the better team. But let's see what's going on around the league tonight. What went on? All the games are wrapped up except for one. All right, cool. So we got Nashville, who beat Washington. Good stuff. Carolina, who beat Toronto. That sucks. Pittsburgh beat St. Louis. That sucks. Florida beat Montreal. I'm indifferent. Boston beat New Jersey. Yeah, sounds about right. Buffalo beat Columbus in overtime. Winnipeg beat Minnesota. So a lot of results that are, not going to lie, kind of expected. But yeah. I'm going to wrap this up, though, here. I apologize for keeping this one a little bit short. I don't really have too many thoughts on the game outside of hopefully coming out of the new year, we get this type of defensive hockey going forward. And this is hopefully what we see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this post game. I really do appreciate every single one of you that did. Don't forget to leave a like if you have not already. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live next. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a happy new year, everyone, and let's go Rangers.